G'day, is Max Verstappen playing mind games with Lando Norris? I think yes, and today's press conference was a bit of a giveaway. Max Verstappen needs Lando's help to win the 2025 World Drivers' Championship. So today in the press conference, when he was asked what he thought his chances were, he said, look, it didn't really matter to him. I've got 4 of these trophies already. My signature hasn't changed. He's just out there having fun. He played it off as if it was no big deal. There's another season to come. It's not what his life depends on. Of course, after you've won 4, perhaps the 5th is not that important. But I know Max. Max is hungry. I think a lot of the media were of the opinion that that was a clever tactic on Max's part to just play off how important this is. When Max was asked about his preparation for the race this week, he said, look, I've been working on my GT3 team, I've been doing some work on my sim team. He clearly wanted everyone to know that this was not his focus. Sure, he'd like to win the championship, but he wanted everybody else to know that he has other things in his life. He's great at playing down the importance of things. He's done it time and time again. Of course, if he didn't care, he would not be a 4-time World Drivers' Champion. Is he trying to lull Lando into a false sense of security? If he is, I think he's doing a very good job at it. He wants Lando to think that he gets these great results without having to pore over every minor detail. When he came in today, he was relaxed. He caught up with his engineer and Laurent Mekies. He was the 3rd of the 3 drivers to enter the press conference, maybe even a minute or 2 late, and was one of the last drivers to arrive at the track. I think Max has a very clever mental game. Whether he's doing that on purpose or not, I can't tell you. But one thing's for sure, Max is Lando's biggest threat. He will be breathing down his neck all weekend and taking every opportunity to just keep digging the needle in. Now, is Lando likely to take the bait? Can he overcome that pressure from Max? But to be fair, Lando was also pretty casual. The only question I think that stumped him or had him guessing was whether he would ask Oscar to move over if it meant winning the championship. Of course, that question was more uncomfortable for Lando, given that Oscar was sitting right next to him. Oscar acknowledged too that he was a long shot. He needs a lot to go right, which you can't put out of the question, but he did say that he wouldn't be getting his hopes up too high. Do I think Oscar might help Lando out? Because Lando can't help Oscar. If it was the last turn and Oscar was 3rd, Lando 4th, would there be pressure? I'm trying to pick who that is. Raul. Nico's manager. Would there be pressure on Oscar to move over? If he hasn't been asked, there is no pressure. But would he do it as a gesture? Maybe. No, I think he would. I'm sure he'd be rewarded for whatever bonus he missed out on. And I think it's probably better to be the teammate of a world champion than to have somebody else outside the team win that title. I don't think the team would punish him for not moving aside, but I think he would earn huge kudos from the rest of the team for doing that. Behind me is a Paddock bot. What is that? It's a monstrous rig with a camera on it. You've probably seen this at the likes of the Emmys, the Oscars, various social events. It's worth about $500,000. They've got this whopping great light screen here. They've got other lights over here. And Cole Walliser is the fella behind this. He's got about 4.6 million followers, and he's getting paid a fortune to be here by the circuit. What happens? Well, let's cue it. Cue! Whoa! And that's the rig. It's crazy. And this is the end result. It's super slow-mo, films at 1,000 frames a second, and comes in, focuses on me. It's pretty clever. This woman here had a good strategy. She'd fist bump the drivers as they came in, and then she'd open up her hand to reveal, Habibi, good luck. Arabic and English. Got a laugh out of Oscar when he came in. And the drivers, for the first race I can remember, are being forced to go through the metal detectors. Everybody went through except Lewis, who worked out that if you went via the entry into pit lane, you could avoid that. And that was met with great delight by a lot of the fans who were out there on a pit lane walk. Valtteri Bottas is here. This is his last race for Mercedes. He's been with them so many years, but of course he leaves for Cadillac. I had a chat with him about press conferences, and he said he prefers the English-speaking conferences because his Finnish has gone rusty. It's easier for him to speak and think in English now than it is in Finnish. And of course he is now living in McLaren Vale in South Australia, where they don't speak any Finnish. Charles Leclerc, so close to holding a World Drivers' Championship trophy, he actually touched it today in the press conference. He was the first of the drivers to come into the first conference, saw it there, leant over, touched it with great reverence before he sat down and took his place. Of course, there's no chance of him holding the trophy this year, but that won't stop him going for a race win come Sunday. If you're watching this after FP1, know that Charles Leclerc also drove with his brother Arthur Leclerc. Two Leclercs driving in Ferrari. So what did the timing screen say for Arthur? Because it can't be LEC. Indeed, it was LEL. And that was the same situation as last year. We're lucky to have Abu Dhabi as the last race of the year. It's such a beautiful climate. It's an evening race. It starts at dusk and goes into night. And if the race wasn't a sellout, as at a couple of weeks ago, it is certainly now. And people are now paying over the mark for tickets, desperate to be at the race to see which one of these three drivers wears that World Championship crown. And the other thing, this hotel over my shoulder here is the W. It used to be the Viceroy, but it is the most stunning place for nightlife come the race weekend. You see the most glamorous women, the best dressed fellas, the biggest wallets you've ever seen, and the whole lobby turns into some massive party. I've not seen the likes of it. And do any drivers stay there? No. Why? It's right next door. It's so easy. Well, I don't believe any are staying there, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the noise factor. It's very hard to sleep because that place goes all night. And the price to park your car on Sunday, if you're not staying there, more than $600. There's a peculiarity that happens on Sunday night every year. When a team member goes to another team, the tradition is to send them down to that team in very poor condition, like this fella here a couple of years ago. Well, there are a number of people swapping teams, and I'll be on the lookout for that. But one fella who is leaving is Esteban Ocon's trainer, Tom Clark. He's been in the sport for some time. Lovely fella, and we wish him the best of luck in his next venture. When one of these drivers wins the World Drivers' Championship on Sunday night, everyone in their team will be wearing a special T-shirt. Red Bull will have 100-odd shirts ready to go, and they'll say Max Verstappen, World Drivers' Champion 2025. McLaren will have 200 T-shirts, 100 with Oscar's name on it and 100 with Lando's. And what happens to the 200 shirts that are redundant? Well, I'm told they're either sent off to countries where F1's not a thing and given away to those in need of clothing, or they're incinerated. Either way, they shouldn't end up in F1 fans' hands. There is one Piastri who's very sad at the moment, and it's not Oscar. It's his mum, Nicole. As you know, Yuki's leaving Red Bull at the end of this year, to which Nicole Piastri said, speechless, love you, Yuki. As you might know, she's been a big fan of Yuki's, and in fact, I did catch up with her at a recent race, and she grabbed me and said, quick, Kim, I need a picture of me with Yuki. I did do that picture, and it was a huge hit on social media. So Nicole Piastri will be missing Yuki Tsunoda, like many of you, I imagine. Now, before you go, one favour, could you please hit the like button, and for those unsubscribed, there's a button there too to sort that out. And for a whole lot of extra content, head over here and have a look. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. There's a huge set. How do I start this? Look at my fat gut.